Today is Thursday, Parashat Vayikra, and we're learning from Chok L'Israel, the Ketubim for today, which is from the book of Mishlei. Tzinim pahim bederech ikesh, shomer nafsho yirhak mehem. This pasuk says, thorns and snares, like traps, bederech ikesh. Bederech ikesh are in the way of the crooked. Shomer nafsho, a person that guards his soul, yirchak mehem, will distance himself from them. And basically what this pasuk is saying, a crooked person, a dishonest person, eventually it catches up with him, and he'll find on his path thorns, meaning trouble, and snares, traps, and eventually he'll catch up with him. However, a person who guards his soul, who is careful, knows about the consequences of actions, such a person distances himself from this kind of trouble. Next pasuk, Chanoch lanar al pi darko, gam ki yazkin lo yasur mimena. Educate a child according to his ways, in the way that he should go, and even when he's old, he will not depart from it. So, there's a couple of meanings for this pasuk. The plain meaning is when you educate a child when he's young, whatever you teach him when he's young stays with him. That's called Girsa de Yankuta, which means that whatever you learn when you're young stays with you in old age all the way. There's another meaning to this pasuk, that each child is unique in his way. Each child has talents and certain natural inclinations, certain things that he is more interested in, certain potential that he has and not others. So the idea in education is to understand the qualities of that child and to educate him according to his way. In other words, according to what he's best at, according to his abilities that are there in potential, that are just waiting to be developed. Not everybody can be a musician, and not everybody can be a mathematician, and not everybody can be, there are like natural inclinations of a person, whether it is a certain energy level or certain interests, and you have to find the interest of the person. For each person in this world, there is a purpose, there is a mission, there is a piece of the puzzle in the creation of the world. You have to identify what is the strength and the natural inclination of every child and educate him according to his ways, according to what he's best at. Next pasuk, Ashir berashim yimshol ve'eved lovel ish malveh. Pasuk says the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is like a slave or a servant to the lender. Well, needless to say that when a person borrows money, he sort of subjugates himself to the lender, and the quicker you can get rid of whatever loans, the freer you are. And Ashir berashim yimshol, the beginning of the pasuk, the rich rules over the poor. In other words, that money definitely and wealth definitely gives a certain amount of power to the person who has it. And the advice here is to realize that a borrower is like a servant to the lender. All right, next pasuk. Zorea avla yiktzor aven v'shevet evrato yichle. The pasuk says, Zorea avla, person who sows, who plants iniquity, shall reap. He will reap aven, vanity. V'shevet evrato yichle. And the rod of his wrath, of his anger, shall fail. And Rashi explains this pasuk. Such a person who sows iniquity will eventually scharo iktzor aven. His reward, he will have just vanity. Ve'shevet evrato, and the stick or the rod with which he rules over others, with which he rules over people, Yichle will be destroyed eventually. You can have these kind of governments sometimes that are like so overpowering over their people. They abuse the power that they have, eventually, you cannot stay forever. Eventually, that kind of government that is abusive, that is aggressively sort of like uses the rod against its people, eventually such governments and such people will fail eventually. The last pasuk for today, Tov ayin hu yevorach, a person who has a generous eye shall be blessed, ki natan milachmo ladal, because he gives his bread to the poor. So such a person who has a good eye, what is a generous eye? He's a person who's happy for the success of others. He's a person who's sensitive to the needs of others. Such a person who's kind and generous towards others. Such a person will merit to have many blessings. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.